still potable, still potable. Oh yeah. Still potable, still potable. Boston Celtics, still potable, still potable. Banner 18.
J. King, Jam, Packard, and the V-Rock.
Still potable, still potable.
The Jay-Z White in the catalog.
Still potable, still potable.
The kids are legends, the gods.
Still potable, still potable, still potable. The Boston Celtics, still potable, still potable. Oh yeah.
I just have to go to a bathroom.
Welcome to Still Potable NBA Finals Edition. We are here live on the YouTubes after Game 1, after the Celtics take down the Dallas Mavericks 107. I forgot the score. The Mavericks, I believe, scored under 90 points. Yes, I'm looking at the scoreboard right now. 89 points for the Dallas Mavericks in an absolutely team performance from the Boston Celtics here. Six players in double figures. They hold Luka Doncic to only one assist. No one else on the Mavericks really accomplished anything of note. Kyrie Irving was bad this evening. So much for the greatest backcourt in the history of the NBA. Kristaps Porzingis made his triumphant return, scored 18 points in 13 minutes in the first half, and was just huge for the Celtics, where their top six was really phenomenal. I thought this game came down to a certain point there in the third quarter. Luka Doncic, Celtics came out kind of flat. We're not hitting from three-point land. Luka Doncic knocked down a three and cut it to 8. Shout out to the mainest man, Lucky, right here. What up, Lucky?
Another day in the office.
Another day in the office, another day for the JetBlue flight crew. But they cut it to 8, and Jaylen Brown just decided, I don't care for this. This is like not gonna be a close basketball game. I was terrified, personally. I was pacing up in here on the 9th floor. It was a really tense moment, and Jaylen Brown came in and just absolutely dominated. He put his head down, he drew fouls on Derek Lively, and he had blocks at the rim, and just a phenomenal defensive performance. And the Celtics were only up 8 with about 4 minutes and 20 seconds left to play in the third quarter. Jaylen Brown decided to dominate, and they ended the third quarter up 20. And basically it was a cakewalk for the rest of the game. Jason Kidd waved the white flag with about 5 minutes left. We got Svi Mykhailiuk minutes. We got Svi Mykhailiuk buckets. And it was just a phenomenal game one for these Boston Celtics. Again, 6 players in double figures, a true team performance. And I thought the Celtics, they built this giant lead in the first half. We're knocking down a lot of threes. I think they had 11 threes in the first half, shooting 40%. You know who did not hit a lot of threes? The Dallas Mavericks. I think Luka Doncic had a couple. Derek Jones Jr. had one. The rest of the team completely missed. Talk about winning the math, winning Missoula ball, winning on the margins. A lot of the things we talked about the week leading up to the series is like, the Mavericks, all they do is create corner threes. They only had 2 corner 3 attempts. They missed them both. It really felt like the Celtics were okay letting Luka do whatever he wanted in 2-point range, and I thought he was, he was quite good. I think he finished with the 30-point double-double, but again, only 1 assist. No other Dallas Mavericks got involved, and the Celtics jump out to a decisive Game 1 victory against the Dallas Mavericks. It was just a phenomenal time. It's an absolute zoo here in the TD Garden. Hopefully we got some fine folks participating in chat. Hopefully we got a guest coming soon. Oh, that's on me. I have to send the link to the guest, but I'll do that. Danger Cart will be joining us shortly. We got main man Sean, producer here. We have any comments yet from the fine folks in chat?
I think, unsurprisingly, we've got Joshua B, as always, in the chat. Says, first of all, Luka had 1 assist. He remembers that. Also says to talk about Dr. B, because Dr. B was right.
Dr. B. Shout out to Dr. B. Kristaps Porzingis, in a surprising move and something that I did not think was going to happen. Kristaps Porzingis came off the bench, but really made a huge impact in his minutes and did not look like he was limited by the calf whatsoever. Had the sweet driving move around Derek Lively to get the dunk, was knocking down a lot of shots, 7 of 9 in the first half. Had a bit of a limited impact in the second as the Celtics kind of struggled to knock down threes, but he didn't have to have I'm trying to look at the box score over there, but this is the first time I've had a light in my eyes. Sean, how many minutes did Kristaps Porzingis play in this game?
Now I'm struggling to see it. Kristaps played 21 minutes. I can read.
Only 21 minutes is not like something he needed to be tested. Dr. B was absolutely right, and I thought it was just an all-around great game from the team that is the Boston Celtics. A lot of the things I feel like I was bringing up before the series where, sometimes players in their first finals don't know exactly what to do. I think we saw that from P.J. Washington, Derek Jones Jr., Derek Lively got in foul trouble. Daniel Gafford, didn't really do anything. And so everyone basically on the Mavericks struggled except for Luka Doncic. And are we going to now? Do we have special guest? Mr. Dane Jerkart.
Hey, can you hear me?
Dane Jerkart, come on down. You're the next contestant on the first time we're ever doing a live broadcast after a game. Thank you for joining us.
I'm assuming you can hear me then.
I can hear you.
All right,
can you hear me? I'm assuming since we're having a conversation, you can hear me. I cannot see you, but normally no one can see you because you are a cart or a cat. But Dane Jerkart, you agreed to come on this podcast as long as the game did not kill you. I'm glad you were alive. What are your quick takeaways from Game 1 here in Boston?
I'm happy that it didn't kill me. I'm happy
too.
the Celtics won. I mean, it was a great executed game by the Celtics. A really good game plan. I just heard you saying, the Mavs. They had a lot of guys who looked like the lights got right, regardless of what Mazzulla said about the same light bulb being up there.
It does feel brighter in here.
Well. There's a lot of cameras there and a lot of people there with their stuff going on. So maybe it is. But the Mavs did not play well. They played really well, other than a few minutes around the halftime break. And they look like the better team. They are the better team. Hopefully that continues for the rest of the series. But how was it in the arena?
It was a rollicking first half. It was a lot of fun. It felt like the math was mathing for the Celtics, where they were just knocking down so many threes, and it really felt like the kind of the defensive emphasis was like, we're going to allow Luka to kind of and Kyrie for a lesser extent. Kyrie just didn't knock down a lot of shots. They can get what they want in the mid range. A lot more switching of the bigs onto Luka and Kyrie than I anticipated, but I thought those bigs did a good job, especially Al Horford, of just taking away the 3-point shot, forcing them into the paint and kind of rotating from there. And so when the Celtics were knocking down threes, especially in the first half, it felt like the math was just tilted in their favor.
Yeah, and that's what I mean by the strategic stuff. Force them out of the corners, cut off the lobs, make Luka more of a scorer than a passer. I know the sort of big thing was he had 1 assist in the game. It wasn't a 1 assist game for him. Like, some of it is that his teammates just kind of crap the bed, like we said, and missed some shots. Kyrie and was sort of the notable one, but also some of the role players. So, but in the grand scheme of things, the way that they approached it, forcing those 3-point shots up above the break, and like I said, cutting off the lobs. The first story of this is probably that they gave up 89 points, right? Like, with the Celtics offense,
to the greatest offensive backcourt in the history of time, they only gave up 89 points. It's impressive.
Kyrie has a thing about playoff games involving Boston where he shoots really poorly. Half the time when he's with the Celtics, and now half the time when he's not. But I think this is his 10th playoff game that involves the Celtics where he's shot under 40%. 4 of those, again, did come when he was the last 4 games he played with the Celtics in the playoffs. But he's had a couple of these, and some of those games are very old, and it doesn't really matter. But he had a couple of those games when he was with the Nets. And now you get this one, and then he obviously had the games when he was with the team. So for all that he is an amazing shot maker, he also takes a lot of difficult shots. And against good defensive teams, if you're taking difficult shots, your skill of making them 42% of the time when everybody else would make them 25% of the time is all well and good, but you're still making them 42% of the time. Like, they're not the shots that are going to beat you if you have the best offense in the league and you can get out there and score what you need to score. So again, strategically, I think it was really good. I expect that the Mavericks will play better. They will shoot better. Their guys will maybe settle in. Derek Lively will stop fouling every 3 seconds. PJ Washington will make some shots, like Kyrie will make shots. So all those things will settle down. I don't think they're going to win every game. I don't think there's going to be a 4-game sweep where they win every game by 20 points or 18 points. But for one night, like kind of everything the Celtics wanted to happened in this game. To win a game by 18 where Tatum has a pretty quiet night and struggles with turnovers and stuff like that, that's a pretty damn good sign. And the win is in the bank, right? You can't take it away. So 3 more to go. I'd rather have the win than the alternative.
No, and the job's not finished. Classic, it's only one game, but I thought they executed the game plan very well in the first half, and then the 3 stopped dropping. I really just thought the end of that third quarter there, where it got close to 8, and then Jaylen Brown just made some very impressive defensive plays, blocking Derrick Jones Jr. at the rim. He had a block on Kyrie as well, and he really put his head down. The Celtics got in the bonus, I think, with 5 minutes left to play in that quarter, and Jaylen got to the free throw line a couple times. And so it was nice to see the Celtics in a moment where I was quite nervous about them potentially blowing a 28-point lead in the finals. Them to really kind of the cliche line in my head was face adversity, but they were able to stop the run and extend the lead back, especially when their 3-point shots were not necessarily falling to start that half. And I thought that was an important just to stem the tide and kind of extend the lead and ensure they got that game 1 victory.
And Packard, we have another question in from Joshua B. This one is the series strategy to get Lively and or Gafford in foul trouble?
I mean, I think it's to attack the rim and to try to pull those guys out. It was a weird Jason Tatum game because he got Gafford and Lively a lot on the perimeter, and he drove, and it just resulted in a lot of turnovers. The Mavericks were giving him a lot of attention, and he was making passes, but his reads around the rim were kind of bizarre, and I don't know if it was just because he didn't want to go up for a contested layup and have it affect the defense, but it was just a bizarre Tatum game where he was still pretty solid. I think he clearly had a double-double and was effective on the offensive end, but wasn't the dominant kind of playmaker we've seen him danger cart.
Yeah, I think that Tatum's game was he played the right way and just didn't execute it well, basically. So there were good decisions up until the final decision of some of those possessions that ended up in turnovers and things like that. I think most of them ended up being dead ball turnovers, I want to say. They
threw the ball right out of bounds.
Quite as much. Yeah. And to the question that was asked, I don't care if Gafford is in foul trouble. I care if Lively's in foul trouble. The Mavs have not played particularly well with Gafford on the floor. If you can get Lively off the floor, that's I think a bigger deal. So kind of just directly to that question, that I do think that it matters with Lively. He is a rookie. He's playing in the NBA Finals. He was fouling everybody. He could have fouled out easily in 10 minutes. He was just every single rebound. He was fouling guys. He was swiping at the ball after the rebounds. He was fouling guys on every drive. He looked like somebody who was overly excited and exuberant, and we'll see how that continues on from here. I'd like to go back to kind of what you were talking about with Jaylen, because that's probably where I should have started when I came on and you asked me how I was feeling about the game. Best defensive game of his career, I think, and best 5 minutes in that. Somebody has told me that basketball is a game of runs, and the Celtics basically won this game on two runs, a run in the first quarter and a run at the end of the third quarter. And that run at the end of the third quarter is Jaylen, right? It's Jaylen puts the 5th foul on Lively, hits the free throws, breaks up the lob attempt, blocks the dunk, comes back down, drive, kick, ends up with Tatum. He hits the 3, Jaylen hits the 3, and the game's basically over there. It's this 5-minute burst from him. So I think it was, big stage, all that. But the best defensive game of his career, I think, which is saying something against, primarily Luka Doncic in the NBA Finals.
And he took the Luka assignment from the start. I thought you're gonna slow Luka's gonna score 30 pretty much every single game, but I thought they really made him work on both ends of the court. It really felt like their offense for a while was let's drive against Luka Doncic. And so it was just Jalen. They were picking him up pretty much as soon as he crossed half court, sometimes farther, whether it was Jaylen Brown playing defense on him or Drew Holiday. I just thought they did a solid job of making his life difficult. It wasn't like the most phenomenal Luka Doncic performance. You can tell from this game that he's quite a talented basketball player. I'll go out on a limb and say that. But I just thought the Celtics, for a team that might not have been super locked in defensively at some point in some game twos in this postseason, I thought they really came in and executed the game plan well, especially the switching. It kind of like took away Lively as this roll man who's a good passer. It was really just like playing guys one-on-one. And I just thought their one-on-one defense against Luka, he's going to score points, but they made it difficult for him to score.
Yeah, exactly that. The ability to guard him primarily
Packard, I do have
one-on-one.
another question. First one, actually not a question, but Brian Lambert wants you to know that shirt looks good on you. So.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, nice shirt.
Appreciate that.
We had another one earlier on from Jeff asking, is this the view from the 9th level?
Yes, we are on level 9 right now. Normally, if I can take the people, I sit over there in the corner. There are so many media members there that I'm in the opposite basket from the Celtics. I was sitting behind some very exuberant members of the USS Constitution naval staff who were having themselves a ball, and it was the weirdest environment I've ever watched a basketball game in. I was standing the whole time. But yes, this is the 9th level. Sean, how long have we been going so far?
We're at 16 minutes.
All right. I think that's the vision I had for this entire podcast because, folks, if you're watching right now, this is just the opening act. I'm just the shitty local comic who performs when the big national comic comes into town. This is on YouTube. This is trying to encourage you guys all out there to subscribe. Go to patreon.com. Still Potable. We'll have another full podcast with Jay King and Brian Robb breaking down their entire game, get their reaction. They're probably asking Joe Mazzulla questions right now. Joe Mazzulla is probably saying utter verbal judo and nonsense. But Ryan, Danger Cart, I don't know if I was allowed to say your first name, but I did. I'm sorry for doxing you, but thank you for coming on Still Potable after game 1.
Yeah, my name is on Twitter, so that's totally not a problem. Yeah, everybody subscribe to the everything and enjoy the finals. And maybe I'll talk to you again after some of these other games. See how it goes.
Sounds good. To all the Still Potable fans out there, thank you guys for listening. Tune in later tonight, and we'll have a full podcast for you on the Still Potable feed. Thank you guys for listening.